In this video, I want to give you a very clear step-by-step process for one of the most useful skills, especially for playing for fun, which is learning how to play by ear.
My name is Josh Gu, and after years of studying the clarinet with some of the best teachers from around the world, I am excited to be sharing my knowledge with you. So go to QuickStartClarinet.com or check the description on this video to see all of the wonderful resources I have to help you reach your clarinet dreams. And of course, subscribe to this channel for weekly clarinet and music tips and tricks.
The inspiration for this video comes from a fantastic TikTok account. There's this wonderful flutist, her account is Auntie Feng, and she's doing this great series where she is playing through Rick Beato's top 20 guitar solos, and I asked in one of the comments if she was doing it by sheet music or was learning it by ear, and of course she was learning it by ear, which is really useful and a great thing to do. And this is a great tip in general if you're wanting to play in any style, whether it's popular, jazz, whatever the style may be, klezmer. It's really good to learn by ear and just listen a lot, because learning things by ear makes you listen more and you pick up on a lot more nuance and style and character things, especially in those genres where the style and character is so important and really sort of makes or breaks it. So I thought it'd be useful to have a video to sort of show you how to learn things by ear. I will be completely honest and actually give this as a tip also for playing these kinds of things. I often don't learn things by ear. I'm not fantastic at learning things by ear, but because I'm not naturally sort of gifted at it or talented, even though talent doesn't exist, because I'm not super familiar with it and not very skilled in it, this is a great sort of system that I've come up to work with for myself. So even if you feel like you're not good at learning things by ear, I'm not good at learning things by ear, but we can still do it with this system. So let me get into sort of the process of it, and hopefully you'll be able to play anything you want by ear by the end of this video. So maybe the pre-tip to this, which doesn't quite count as really playing by ear, is don't be afraid to look for sheet music. Sometimes that can sort of point you in the right direction and give you a good sense of how it starts, and then you can sort of add more nuance and more style and maybe make corrections. A lot of times there's transcriptions of popular music online, but it's not always perfect, so you can sort of listen for yourself and find the notes that are more correct, at least to your ear. Now the first real step is to listen, and really get it in your ear. That's the whole point of playing by ear, is to be able to hear it and listen to it. So I am going to sort of demonstrate this on just a little bit of music, just sort of the first main melody from We Don't Talk About Bruno from Encanto. And I'm not going to do too much of it, partially so like Disney doesn't get mad at me, but also because I think you can sort of get the idea of the process on just a little bit. So step one is listen. So let's give it a little bit of a listen. And again, it's going to be sort of bad audio. I'm just sort of playing it over the speakers here, but you'll get the idea. So we listen.
We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno. But.
And that's just all that I'm going to do. And I'm going to listen maybe a couple more times to really try to get it in my ear. And that leads us into step two, which is to really internalize it. Don't just listen sort of passively, but really listen and see if you can memorize how it goes, really know how it goes.
About Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno.
Figure it out, because it was coming for you.
We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno.
Okay, so that's the first listening and internalizing. I was sort of hearing it. Step three to help with the internalizing process is to slow it down. So if you're on YouTube, it's actually very easy to click into the settings and actually change the playback speed. So let's try that. Let's do it back at 0.75 times, so just a little bit slower, and see how that goes. That'll be really helpful for really hearing exactly the notes, exactly what's happening.
We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno.
So that's slowing it down, helping to internalize it and really hear it. Which brings us to step 4, which may be the most important step, is you want to be able to sing it for yourself. If you can really accurately hit those pitches, even if you don't have a good singing voice, that's totally fine, but if you can accurately hit those pitches, that will really help you to have it internalized. So let me see if I can do that. Dee da dee da 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 bum 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 bum. And I'm not singing it with the words. I find taking the words out makes it a little bit easier to more clearly hear the pitches, and it also doesn't sound so weird doing it super slow so that you can really hear it. And when we're playing it on the clarinet or whatever instrument, we're not going to have the words going with it, so it's helpful to just hear the pitches. And let me just double check that that's the correct starting note. Bum, 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 bum. So that's the first section. This is another really great sort of bonus idea too, is work in small chunks. Don't try to memorize the whole song and then figure it out. And that's also partially why I'm doing just the little chunks. So I've sung just that first bit. Bum, 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 bum. I feel pretty good about that. That sounds right to me, and I think I'm hitting those notes pretty accurately. Now, step 5 is to think about what the contour of that is. And the contour means, is it going up? Is it going down? Is it going up a lot, down a lot? And sort of getting a shape of that. So what I'm hearing, let's see if I can do it backwards for the video so it looks right for you, is dee da dee da dee da da dum bum bum dee da dee dee da dee. That maybe sounds like some kind of a third. It might just be a second, but it feels a little bit bigger than a second. Dee da dee da dee da. And it does that a few times. Dee da dee da dee. Those are the same 2 notes. Da. That one's lower. Dee da dee da dee dum. And then it skips down. Dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. I don't think that was the right last note there at the end. Let me listen again.
Talk about Bruno, no, no, no.
So it does have a no, 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 no there at the end. So that's another really good contour thing to hear that sort of back and forth, which actually mimics the back and forth at the beginning. Dee ta tee ta tee tom 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 tom. So we have dee da dee tom 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 on both sides, and maybe that's where a little bit of the sort of musical genius comes in of this and why it's so popular, is that sort of mirrored contour there. That's just bonus interesting stuff. So now we have the contour sort of figured out. We know where we're going, and this is going to be so much easier than sort of just guessing each individual note on the instrument. Now we have a roadmap for where we want to go. So let's give it a try. The first thing to do is figure out what note it starts on. Dee, dee. I think that's it. That's a B flat on the clarinet. Let's double check with the recording.
We don't talk about
I think that's it. Let me try just a couple other notes just to double check. Dee,
Coming for you.
dee, dee. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a B flat. Dee, da, dee. So that felt like a third to me, so let's try a third and see what happens. Oh, no, that's definitely too far. Half step's too little, so maybe major second. No, that doesn't sound right either. Maybe it's more than a third. Maybe it's a major third. Actually, I think the minor third was right. Yeah, So I'm changing actually from the throat tone B flat just because I feel like the timbre of the throat tone B flat is sort of messing me up. Maybe I'll do it actually the higher octave so I have room to go down. Yeah, that's definitely right, yeah. Oh, it's actually not lower. Dee-da, dee-da, dee-ya, dee-da, dee-ya. So that fifth note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth note is actually in between the notes that we're playing. So that's something that I misheard in the contour, but now that I'm playing it, I figured out where we are. So far we have B flat G, B, G, B, G, B, A. And now we skip down. A, ha, ha. That note doesn't sound right. Dee-da, dee-da, dee-dum, bum. That note's an interesting one. Dee-da, dee-da, dee-dum, bum. I think that's what it is, yeah. Dum, bum, 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 bum. Let's listen again.
Talk about Bruno.
No, no, no. Dee-da, dee-da, dee-dum, Okay, I think I got a few of the notes. Oh, no. And then I think just the last one. Let's see if we can get that.
Talk about Bruno.
No, 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 no. So it's higher than that. I think that's what it is. So what I did there is I tried a note and then I compared that to what I had internalized. Dee-da-dee-da-dee-bum, bum. And then I tried a note, and if it sounded too low, then I tried a higher note. If it sounded too high, then I tried a lower note. I think we have that one now. That sounds pretty good to me. Let's double check.
We don't talk about Bruno.
I think that's it, yep. Let's try playing it actually with it now, just to double check.
We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk.
So I think I got it. Now the cool thing about learning by ear is lots of times it's quite repetitive. So actually this "we don't talk about Bruno" is again the same,
About Bruno.
but then it changes at the brew word. So let's listen again and internalize again. So that goes up. And I think it's the half step lower. Is just a little bit lower. So let's try that. And there it is. So the B flat to G is the same, and then it goes up to a C and then down to the A. So all together. And that's that. So you see how once we sort of got the first bit going, it sort of found itself pretty quickly on the second part because it was so repetitive. There was really only 2 different notes that we had to figure out to get that next little chunk or next little phrase. So that's putting the notes on the instrument. The other little thing that you can do here when you're putting the notes on the instrument, if you have a strong background in theory, is you can start to notice what key the song is in. This one's actually a little bit interesting because we have B flat and F sharp happening. I think for the most part all the other notes are natural. We have D natural, C natural, B flat, G, A, F sharp. So we actually have pretty much a whole scale. We never played an E, so we don't know if the E would be flat or sharp, but this is sort of the notes that we're working with. So that doesn't sound like our traditional major or minor scale, so there might be something interesting happening with the modes here. The B flat maybe, and especially because the first phrase ends on D, is maybe implying sort of a D minor, but then the F sharp would be coming from D major. So perhaps we're looking at something like a D major scale with a lowered 6th and 7th, which could also be a D minor scale, but borrowing the major third from D major, maybe something like that. We'd have to look at more notes and learn more notes to come up with a clear key, but you know already sort of the pitches that you're working with. We have C, D, F sharp, G, A, B flat, and most of the time, all the rest of the notes in the song are going to follow those accidentals. Maybe occasionally there's an accidental thrown in there that will sort of change it, but once you start having a grouping of notes and you know B's are probably usually going to be B flat, F's are probably usually going to be F sharp, and you sort of know where you're going with the notes from there. So that's just a little bonus theory tip, but now that's complete step 6 of putting the notes on the instrument. And then there's the final step 7, which is to really get the sort of rhythm and the style. We've sort of been naturally doing the rhythm, but in case you haven't been, be sure to put that rhythm back in because rhythm is the most important part. If I did that's a completely different piece, even though I'm playing exactly the same notes in the right order. So you want to make sure you're doing exactly the right rhythm, and also adding in whatever the style may be of the piece. So instead of just doing like when I was singing, you can actually give it the character and play it the way it goes, both in tempo, in dynamics, in all of those kinds of things. And again, listening for that might be really good, or if you're familiar with it and have internalized it well enough by now, you can just go for it. So let's see if I can sort of put it all together and really play this how it goes. So that was pretty close, and that's the first maybe phrase, maybe half a phrase from We Don't Talk About Bruno, all learned by ear. And you can see it kind of took me a while, and learning by ear does take a while. Lots of listening, lots of slowed down listening, lots of singing, some guess and checking to see where you are. And like I said, I'm not very good at this, so if I can do this in however long it's been, then you absolutely can do it as well, and go about this way learning any of the music that you want to learn. So use this 7-step process. Listen, internalize, slow it down as much as you need, sing it, figure out the contour. I think singing and figuring out the contour are sort of the secret weapons here. If you can do both of those really well and really accurately, then step 6 of putting the notes on the instrument is going to be no problem. And step 7 should also come very intuitively, because that's what we want to do, is play with the character and play with the style. We just need to know what notes we're doing first. So I hope that little process is helpful for you for learning how to play by ear. Thanks so much for watching this. If you want more clarinet tips and tricks, general music tips and tricks, be sure to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon. If there's somebody you know who really wants to learn how to play by ear, then share this with them as well so that this can be as helpful to as many people as possible. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.